Hello and welcome to the world of Ardent Realms, a D&D setting compendium that I have been building for many years now. This video is the primer for the ElvesDomain setting within the grander Ardent Realms meta setting. This is the founding myth of elves and humans within the world of ElvesDomain. The eldest scholars of the Elves of the Mount tell of a time millennia past when there were no elves, no men, and no delvers. A time before there was anything but the sun, the moon, and the worms. Then, it is written, a great wizard came, and from him bloomed life large and small. He fashioned the elves from the minerals of the earth, the darkness of the deep, and the bark of the sakura trees, and set them to fill the spaces between the earth and the sky. From silver he wrought the borers, and set them to making the stones for his palace. With lead he chained great Arwis, who was titanic even then, and set him to guard the gate. Millennia passed as this great order of heaven was wrought by his sorcery. The 5 continents rose, the seas split apart. At some point, the tranquility of the realm was broken when a great shadow escaped the eye of the Worm King and destroyed the palace of the Glittering One. It created the Mound Builders, the Shadowkin, and the Hob in the places where the sun does not reach, and fought with the Glittering One. It fought and was imprisoned deep in a pit below the earth, even farther than the deepest reaches of the caverns beneath, but not before mortally wounding the Glittering One. In these hours, he imparted wisdom upon his subjects and departed. Upon the mountain ones, he imparted the duty of guarding the sky. Upon the dark ones, the deep, and the ones made from the bark of the sakura trees, the groves. Finally, to the delvers, to wipe the ichor from the world. The firstborn separated to perform their tasks, but as millennia passed, they forgot their tasks and began to search for their own paths instead. Sun elves divided from the mount, pine from sakura, cavern from silk, and the delvers descended their bores and disappeared. The second children, freed from the burdens of maintaining the world, looked to the outer worlds and felt their first ambition. From their ambition, the sun elves yearned for perfection and created the archons. They left their mountains and began to explore the limits of the world. From their ambitions, the caverns elves yearned for power and created the dark Mistis Arachne. They spread throughout the caverns and began their programs on the Hob and the Mound Builder, seeking dominion. The Pine Ones, from their ambition, realized the superiority of the elves and shaped nature to reflect their dominance. They claimed all of the groves and warped their denizens to fit their ideology. The ambitions of the second-born overlapped, and the elves warred. Their armies crossed the seas and valleys and the dark places of the world and shaped the land with their magics. Hundreds of wars were fought over the first period, the Age of Argument. The age ended with an unknown year, with the burning of the Archive of Glittering Stone by unknown forces. In this year, all but the Archons forgot their ancient purpose. In the next period, the Age of Strife, the powers agreed to fight only on the Island of Old Legends. This age lasted to the end of the crisis of the Orktide. The Treaty of the Triad concluded, and their wars continued. In the third period, the Age of the Air Guild, elves discovered humans in the place called Barik, and took them under their wings. The Pine Elves wrought from them the beast races, and made them their servants. The Cavern Elves took them for their wars against the Boreholds, and the Sun Elves gave them a fiefdom in the place called Bark, and made them their friends. The age closes on the Treaty of Eternal Peace. The fourth period begins with the destruction of the human kingdom by a realmless Archon of Death, Serapis the Worm Eater. The Triad does not aid them, and the humans scatter about the world. the elves retreat into their realms, an age of disquietude dawns. Here we stand in the Fourth Age, in a world of uncertainty where mortals and immortals alike fear the darkness. From these founding myths, race-specific knowledge can be derived. For the Sun Elves, player characters will know these common knowledges. In the ending of the Third Age, the founding clan Azuri disappeared, their portion of the Mount disappearing from the mortal realm entirely. Asmodeus, the Shadowkin, Archon of the Twisted Spires and King of the Devils, is the last known Azuri and the greatest sorcerer ever to live. He is revered by the Sun Elves, but is known to have lost favor with the Elves of the Mount for an unknown reason. It is widely believed that the Pine Elves burned down the archives. The secret knowledge, known only to the Sun Elves, is that the Mount has largely been evacuated for the past 350 years, with the major population gone to the Winter Isle. For the Pine Elves, common knowledge is the Khans have been getting restless in the recent years, leading to more punitive expeditions into their reserves. Pine matriarch Caprica was known to have made a child with a Pine Ronin, one of the first royal births in many years, however scandalous. And the archives were burned by the Cavern Elves, it is believed. The secret knowledge. The birth rate of the Pine Elves have been plummeting over the last several hundred years for an unknown reason, leading to a replacement rate of only 10 children born in the last year out of a population of 1 million elves. Rumor has it that the Elves of the Sakura have been asked for their sage advice. For the Cavern Elves, the common knowledge is that recent campaigns into the boreholds have discovered a huge supply of marbled steel. The boreholds have burned the archives, it is believed to be certain. The secret knowledge known only to the Cavern Elves are that the Delvers have been spotted cooperating with the mound builders, and the greatest mounds have been sporting ants armored in the dark marbled steel. Skirmishes with them have resulted in heavy losses for the Cavern Elf armies. For the Freehold Dwarves, your band of Freehold Dwarves haven't seen other Delvers from the boreholds in hundreds of years. You are the descendants of those who scouted for seams in the earth and lost your path. For the secret knowledge known only to the Freehold Dwarves, you have heard rumors of the oldest of your kind, of a race of Delvers wrought from coal. They are said to worship a god called the Deepest One. For the humans, it has been 350 years since the end of the war with Serapis the Worm-Eaten, and all the humans left in the world live either in the caverns or on the outskirts of Barik, numbering only 100,000 at most. Alexander Komnenos, descendant of the cadet branch of the Dukas royal family of Bark, runs a powerful mercenary company called the Companions, out of the ruins of the city of Bark, where they hunt the undead and perform good deeds. Alexander's mother, Maria Angelos, lives in a tower outside the city, guarded at all times by a contingent of the Companions called the Blood Ravens. No one has seen her in public in living memory. Reuben the Blue, legitimate heir to the Cerulean Order of Mages, leads the Sapphire Mage Tower in Bark, a group of mages that protect the inner city from the effects of the Curse of Serapis. They maintain order in the city and act as a ruling body. The Order of the Gilded Hand, the descendants of the expelled Silverhand Knights, live on Lightsplight, and occasionally send paladins and knights to the island of Barik to quest for only relics. Rumor has it that the Sanguine Chalice, the cup that extends rulership over the Order of the Silver Hand, and the regentship over the land of Bark, sits somewhere in the Plaguelands. The Elves and the Delvers haven't been spotted on Bark except for trade vessels for hundreds of years. And finally, the bond of kinship between the beast races and the humans has been wearing thin. causing many within the urban centers of Bark to no longer regard the beast races as their kin. Thank you for watching. This has been the Elvendomain founding myth from my D&D world. More to come. If you liked what you listened to here today, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Or consider going to my Patreon, which is open now, or using the Amazon affiliate link in the description. Thank you. This has been Game Master Karakin, signing off.